Welcome to the Expansive Astrology podcast, where we look at using astrology beyond the tropes and horoscopes to tune into the natural forces around us and within us, honoring our true nature to craft our future. I'm your host, Melissa, the Self-Care Witch, and I'm here to help you meet your magic. Without further ado, let's begin this week's episode with a tarot reading for the collective. Hi! Welcome back to the podcast. It's episode 39 today, and I'm so excited to chat with you about Aquarius season a little more, hopefully offering some inspiration and some medicine on how we can wrap up Aquarius season. This is the last podcast for Aquarius season, and by the way, I think this podcast comes out on Sundays now. I've been mentioning that my current schedule doesn't really work for me. I've mentioned that a couple times. And I'm finally gonna do something about it. So that's why this one's a few days late. But is it late if I decide that Sunday is the regular day? No, right? That means it's right on time. So I have a lot to share with you about what it means to be of service to the collective, whether you are an Aquarius or not, whether you consider yourself to be of service to the collective or not. Today's podcast, what I want to share with you is the ways that healing yourself and touching in with our hearts and living the most authentic expression of our inner selves as possible is of service to the collective, whether that's your intention or not. It's a natural byproduct. It's your gift to your world. It's your gift to the world. It's to heal yourself and love yourself and shine from the heart space in that way. So I'm excited to get there, but as always, first things first, I have a collective tarot reading for you. This is a 4-card spread inspired by my tarot teacher, Lindsay Mack and Soul Tarot. This is a check-in spread for the collective. So some of the things that I say today might really resonate and hit close to home. Some things may not. As always, take what you need and leave the rest. And I encourage you to stay open to seeing how these things may play out for you over the week to come. Because if you're hearing this, I trust that you're meant to hear it. So first up, present for us this week is the Ace of Pentacles, which, according to Lindsay Mack and Soul Tarot, this card represents us learning to say yes to our soul, learning to say yes to our soul work. The pentacles represent earth energy, and through the suit of pentacles from the Ace to the King, each card invites us or has us explore some aspect of what it means to be a soul in this human existence, what it means to be the Fool, a limitless, ever-expanding, fearless, inspired, creative, constantly full of desire, what it means to be a soul, a limitless soul within a human body on earth, with all of the limitations and complications that come with being in a human body on earth, in a society, right? How do we honor our soul work in this earthly existence where we have to pay bills and pay taxes and, eat enough fiber? How do you honor your soul's desires and also have a day job? In the Ace of Pentacles, it's like getting back to the root work of that. It's about looking at what seeds are being planted, what seeds you're currently tending. Making sure that those seeds that we're tending and planting are aligned with the work that your soul came here to do. Lindsay Mack asks these really beautiful questions of what are you going to do with the seed, with your time here on earth? What are you going to do with the seed being, your divine inspiration, your inner calling, the things that are true to you, the things that flow to you and through you. What do you do with the inspiration that comes to you and the things that you know, right? This is the Ace. This is about getting back to the foundations of that, doing a little evaluation of what are you getting your hands into and are they aligned? What are you not getting your hands into that would be aligned, that like has been calling to you? This feels, maybe it's just the way I'm saying it. Maybe it's just because I'm prepared to speak about Aquarius a lot, but I've never thought of the Ace of Pentacles so much as like a very Fool energy, very Aquarian type of card. And it is. It is. It's about what are you doing here? But it's Earth energy. What are you doing here? How are you utilizing your resources? How are you engaging with your home and your body and your work and the money that you have? Now, this week, this is supported by the Chariot, which made me smile when it fell out of the deck. The Chariot is number 7 card. 2023 is a 7-year. So this is the card for the entire year. This is what we're learning like collectively over the course of the year. Some of you are being faced with this much more intensely and much more quickly than others. I have a couple of clients who I'm like, wow, you're just flying into this Chariot year. And it's not really thought of as a difficult card. It's like a yellow card. There's no skulls on it. There's no blackness. There's no fire on it, right? But the Chariot, the way I've experienced it and the way I've seen it unfold, it can be a tough one. The Chariot has us evaluating like, what have you gone as far as you can go? Under the current circumstances. Like, is there anything that you need to upgrade or kick out or leave behind so that you could go farther? It's like a graduation point. And in the Pamela Coleman Smith illustration, we see like this beautiful chariot with beautiful tapestries. This person who's in the chariot is all decked out in the fanciest armor, all the things. They've got this massive wand. They've got a lot of prestige and power. And yet, this chariot is made of concrete. And there's no horses. They're sphinxes. They're still. They're not moving. So this person has made it very far with this current chariot, but maybe it's time to bring it back to the dealership and upgrade to the newer model. This is Cancer energy. So I also think of the crab shell. Have you ever seen a hermit crab change shells? It's like the most risky, deadly thing that they probably do in their whole life. Is come out of the protection of their shell and show their ugly little butt and move into a different shell that they may or may not have ever been in before. Like they don't, I haven't studied hermit crabs, so I don't really know their process. This is just what I think their process is, right? But I imagine that they don't know what the new shell is going to be like when they're doing that vulnerable work. They don't know if this is the right move or if it's going to be an upgrade until they're in the new shell. I had 2 hermit crabs as a kid. I named them Herman and Shelley. Also, turns out keeping hermit crabs as pets is actually like insanely inhumane. The way that we keep them as pets, it's not good. When I learned about it, I was like, oh no, poor Herman and Shelley. R.I.P. in peace. Anyway, my God. Ace of Pentacles supported by the Chariot. What are you doing? Is it aligned? Getting back to like the foundation of what you've been getting your hands into, and is it aligned with your soul? And that's supported by the Chariot. I'm encouraging you to look at that Ace of Pentacles work in terms of like what you want for this coming year. I'm not really reading this as a short term, like just this week thing. Like, really, and even the next two cards that I'll share with you kind of back this up, that this is about like Aries season to Aries season. This can be a very frustrating time of year for some. There's this electricity of the new year itself. It tends to bring inspiration and excitement, if not total resolutions, right? And in this hemisphere, it's still really cold and snowing like on a weekly basis where I live. Like, it's still winter time. Like, this can be a really frustrating time of year because there's this sense or this urge, this desire to like do more, to like get things moving, right? And I think that's why January always feels like 1,000 days long. And I see it not only in my personal life, but I talk with a lot of people, my clients too. They kind of tend to show up with this sense. I've noticed also that these first couple months of the year can be hard. They can feel stagnant. They can feel frustrating. We want more. We want to get going. We want some more fucking sunlight and warmth. And the way I look at it, the way I look at the year and how it unfolds, we're not there yet. Like, this is a time of preparation and planning. That we're still in the hibernation months, at least in the northern hemisphere. So present for us this week, Ace of Pentacles supported by the Chariot, kind of inviting you to embrace that fact, embrace the fact. If you are resonating with what I'm saying and you have been still feeling like you're wintering and you're hibernating, and maybe you want more, maybe you're craving the sun. Fuck. The lady I ordered lunch from today, we were talking about how it was like 35 degrees today, and we were like, I know, it's so nice, the sunshine is out, like, ooh, I can't wait for summer. She was talking, she wants to move to Arizona. Not Arizona. I'm just kidding, there's nothing wrong with Arizona, but can this still be a time where we are planting seeds and we're evaluating the Chariot style? Like, what have I outgrown? What am I outgrowing? Even if it feels like home, even if it's gotten me really far to this point now, like doing an evaluation. What are you graduating past? What do you need to kick out of your Chariot, kick out of your hermit shell, crab shell, so that you can make more room to expand? When you're looking at which seeds you're planting, which seeds you're tending, and when you're looking at what are you outgrowing, you get to decide, like, you're coming with me, peace and love, bless and release, you're staying behind. You can come with me, you are no longer serving me, see you later. And I'm not talking about people necessarily, but thinking about maybe people, but thinking about those seeds. Which seeds are you watering? Which seeds are you tending? Thinking about your patterns, your habits, your thought processes, what you're getting your hands into, your routine. What is still serving? What is going to help you to go where you want to go? What is going to help you to continue to expand and explore? And what is it time to be done with? That's present for us. And what we're learning is how we engage with our fire, how we engage with our energy, how we're using our energy along in that process. We have the Seven of Wands as our lesson for the week. The wands are fire energy, and fire energy can be a lot, right? It's our passion, it's our motivation, it's our creativity. It's like what gets you going, what sets you on fire, what do you care about, and your energy. How are you expressing all of that? This card, the Seven of Wands, has us looking at how we're engaging with the work, how you are being in the world, how you are using your fire, how you are using your energy. And it can be a card where we're evaluating hypervigilance or defendedness or like an overexertion of energy, where that it might not be the most appropriate use of energy, right? In the Seven of Wands, there's stress. The person's working really hard. They're really, really stressed. They're exerting like as much energy as possible. And so the lesson in this card is that necessary? Can you relax your jaw at least as you're working with this fire, as you're doing whatever it is you're doing? Can you conserve some fire, some of your effort, some of your energy? Is your sense of urgency necessary? Is it appropriate? Is it accurate? Is it true? There are some people who move through the world completely tense, completely defended, ready for a fight at any given turn. And they have to operate that way, right? They've been taught to operate that way. It's possible you're in a situation, or you have been in a situation, where that level of defendedness and protectiveness has felt completely necessary, where you've needed to be hypervigilant and defended and on your guard. This card just has us look at, where is that necessary and where can we pull back a little bit, or maybe have a better, more effective, more useful use of our wand energy, of our fire, of our energy. And I love what Lindsay Mack says about this. Because especially if you're coming from a place where this has been necessary for your survival, it can feel stupid. It can feel really risky, totally vulnerable, and frankly, stupid to move through the world in any other way. When this feels protective, it feels like it would be stupid to do it any other way, right? And Lindsay Mack just reminds us, that you will know when it's time to like bust out some bigger flames. You will know when you need to defend yourself. You will know when you are in danger. And finding pockets and periods of time in between where you can like let down your guard, put down some defendedness, and feel ease, true ease and safety and relaxation, restoration. That's the work. That's the lesson. That's what we're learning. When can you take off your armor, and can you find ways to incorporate that belly up, armorless, undefendedness, vulnerable, fragile, unprotected? Can you show that part of you a little more often, perhaps? Can you craft more of that into your world? I'm not saying don't protect yourself, right? Re-emphasizing that you will know when it's time to pick up those defenses. And in the meantime, get your hands into something else. Relax your jaw. Find a little more ease. That's what we're learning this week, which could entail years and years of like trauma recovery work. So just start to consider that and start to look at how you're engaging with your energy. And is there a way that you can, is it possible to find some more ease? And then finally, our anchor for the week. As you're going through the week, what you can lean into and return to is what we learn in the Four of Cups, which really rounds out what I was saying about like the new year and kind of having a sense of pressure right now. If there is a sense of pressure that you should be doing more, we should be doing better, or good God, I can't wait for summer, I might move to Arizona. Stay present with what we've talked about so far, and know that we can only ever be with what we're with. Focus on what you're focusing on, you know? It's redundant and kind of a dumb sentence, but if you're doing that Ace of Pentacles work, supported by that Chariot work, If you know that you're getting your hands into soil that is nurturing for you and aligned with your soul, don't worry about what will be next. Try not to worry about what you might be missing. Try to just be with where you are. Whatever is next, whatever is calling to you, whatever spirit is handing you, like whatever is meant for you is meant for you. And it will come to you when it's time for it to come to you. And for now, what are you doing? Right now, where are your eyes? Where is your heart? What are you focused on? What have you been studying? The Four of Cups reminds us not to try to rush past anything, just to be where we are and know that whatever is next, whatever is meant for us, whatever we need, it'll be available to us when we're ready for it. This card reminds us to take our time with things. It reminds us to say no to what we're not available for. It reminds us to be really present with what we already have. The timing of your life is perfect. You won't miss what is meant for you. And the best course of action is presence and trust. Trust where you are. Trust what is available to you. And trust that when it's time for more, there will be more. What we're learning this week is how to engage with your energy in a wise way that is, wherever possible, easeful and relaxed and gentle. Present for you is a reminder to keep your head and your hands and your heart aligned. Keep nourishing the seeds that feed your soul. And that's supported by the Chariot, our lesson for the year. What are you outgrowing? And what do you want to come with you? That's your tarot reading for the week. I hope that feels useful and supportive as you move throughout your week. Please, as always, let me know how it lands for you. And on that note, let's move into the Expansive Astrology, shall we? We're talking Aquarius. We're wrapping up Aquarius season. We're talking what it means to be the water bearer. I want to explore Aquarius's strength in service. Represented by the water bearer, who brings the most essential of substances. Water symbolizes truth and represents creation and the giving of life. The water bearer reflects the Aquarian desire to be of use to others in an important way. So, the experiment for this week is permitting ourselves to heal ourselves so that we can be showing up at our best in order to serve the planet, in order to reach our potential. To help us get there, I want to emphasize tapping in with our inner child, strengthening a sense of empowerment, healing old wounds, and truly honoring our impact. The Aquarian mission is so important and so potent and can cause us to question, who am I to do this? I'm imperfect. I have all these triggers, all these issues. Who am I to think I can serve the planet? Or it can bring up beliefs like, my impact is so small, no one respects me, no one notices me, no one would care what I have to say, no one would care if I'm gone. Ouch. The brain loves to bring up that kind of shit to keep us small. Honor the ouch. Honor how painful it is to feel that way. And part of the work is in knowing you're enough, acknowledging our impact on the world around us. This requires trusting ourselves and the full force of what we are. Trusting how much magic we can bring to the table, the power that you hold. I'm often talking about control, the difference between control and power, right? We have so much power. And returning to the Marianne Williamson quote I shared earlier this season, our deepest fear is not that we are inadequate. Our deepest fear is that we are powerful beyond measure. We ask ourselves, who am I to be brilliant, gorgeous, talented, fabulous? Actually, who are you not to be? Your playing small does not serve the world. And I'm paraphrasing that, but it rings so true with this. So let's talk about how we get there. How can you possibly believe that in your bones, right? Let's talk about healing. So we've all got shit to heal, right? Even Marianne Williamson, even Ram Dass, even your therapist, even your mom, even you. We've all got shit to heal. We're all constantly experiencing. We're fragile, okay? We're incredibly resilient. We are like mind-blowingly resilient. When I think of like the shit that humans go through and survive through, it's unbelievable, heart-wrenching, unfathomable. We're fragile. Things impact us. We're kind of soft. Like we've all got something, right? From war to car accidents to break-ins to breakups to arguments to embarrassing moments. Like even though we're really resilient and we can survive these things, we're also fragile. These things have an impact. They impact us. And it's better not to underestimate that. It's better to honor that and know that and tend to it. It's better to baby ourselves than to try to harden ourselves. And as we grow and as we experience more and more and perhaps become desensitized to certain things, we tend to look at the world through the lens of an adult versus a child, right? Of course, we become adults. So we see the world through adult eyes and an adult experience. And I really love the idea that we are all of our ages all of the time. I love the idea that there is always an inner 6-year-old, an inner 13-year-old, an inner 56-year-old, an inner 86-year-old, right? They all live inside me and they all have an opinion and they all are impacted in different ways. And although I am resilient and wise and I have more tools and skills and autonomy and freedom than I did as a 6-year-old or a 13-year-old, and although I look at the world through the eyes of an adult, through the eyes of a 30-year-old, there can still be a really fragile, sensitive, impacted version of me in there that like deserves to be honored and tended to. And when I ignore that part of me, like it becomes known eventually. When we try to suppress truths or feelings, experiences, when we try to suppress the way things impact us, that's really all we're doing, right? Is suppressing. Like there is still an impact, and suppressing the thing or ignoring it or willing it away does not make it go away. It just gets stored in the body, and it'll make itself known some way, somehow, eventually. I think it's better to baby ourselves than it is to try to harden ourselves. It was so impactful to me when I had an acupuncturist tell me about a acupuncture protocol called the aggressive energy treatment, which I guess is a pretty common protocol. I mean, I don't know. What do I know? But this acupuncturist told me that in some cultures, in some places, it's recommended that this aggressive energy treatment, which is like a series of, 8 to 10 needles down the back, it's recommended that this treatment be done anytime something jars your energy. She said it should be done anytime you get cut off in traffic, anytime you get into an argument. It's recommended that you have an aggressive energy treatment, like an hour of self-care. I don't know how long it takes. But that's telling that these expert healing practitioners recommend an aggressive energy treatment, acupuncture protocol, anytime you get cut off in traffic, anytime you feel jarred or shaken. Now, that's not really realistic or accessible for most of us. And it's telling, right? That maybe, just maybe, consider maybe it's better to baby ourselves rather than try to harden ourselves. And consider the inner child. Many trace the concept of an inner child to psychiatrist Carl Jung, who described a child archetype in his work. He linked this internal child to past experiences and memories of innocence, playfulness, and creativity, along with a hope for the future. So think of, as you move through the world, looking at your world through an adult lens, right? Perhaps a hardened lens. Take a moment to consider what triggers you. A trigger is simply a disproportionate emotional reaction to a thing. What triggers you? What activates a perhaps disproportionate emotional reaction? Who do you become when you're triggered? What age do you become? Oftentimes these activations, when we're triggered, you can look at it as your inner child knocking at the door with some sort of need, some sort of fear. What triggers your inner child? Your inner teen? Your inner old lady, perhaps? But let's focus on the inner child. What triggers your inner child? What do children need to thrive? What do they need to feel safe and emotionally secure? It's natural to feel triggered or activated when feelings of safety, security, and belonging are being threatened in some way or feel threatened in some way. And children thrive, inner children thrive, when they are provided with feelings of acceptance, safety, and space. Can you baby yourself? Really wonderfully parent yourself. Empower yourself to provide these things for yourself: safety, security, belonging, acceptance, spaciousness. If you're an adult, you can learn to not rely on anyone or anything outside of you to provide those feelings of safety, security, and belonging. You can learn to provide those things for yourself. All of those things that you seek from others, provide for yourself first. Never ask of others that which you can't provide for yourself. And this is something we learned. This is very much the Lover's card energy. This is the 2022 card. If you seek approval from others, respect, attention, nurturing, validation, etc., 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 make sure you're providing that to yourself and for those you're asking for it from first. It can be really easy to get caught up in trying to externalize those things. And it's okay to want those things from others, of course. And I mean, really, the people that you're surrounding yourself with should be providing those things to you, right? And if you're relying for those things, if you're relying on receiving those things from anything externally. It's just something to work on, something to notice. It doesn't have to be like that. And you will, if that's how you're operating, you will probably always thirst for those things. It's so important to learn to give it to yourself. Fulfill your own needs and then extend that outward rather than relying on your relationships to fulfill your needs. In this way, when you have people in your life who can add to your approval, respect, attention, nurturing, safety, belongingness, etc., 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 then you're both just on the same page and you'll enhance each other rather than trying to fill a void that is no one's business but your own to fill. Besides, no one can do it better for you than they can do for themselves anyway. And vice versa. You can't do for others what you can't do for yourself. So how do we heal the inner child? How do we do this? By listening. By giving space. Playing. Encouraging. Caretaking. Honoring. Keeping safe and sound and advocating. Allowing, feeling. Treat yourself like it is your responsibility to keep yourself well and thriving. Pretend that you're your own tamagotchi. You are your own child. Make it your life's mission to fill your cup, to caretake yourself. Because Aquarius's mission is so important. There can be a big challenge in knowing that you are enough. Your authentic expression of self is enough. Just a dash of imposter syndrome, if you will. So, parenting yourself by respecting your life force, respecting your purpose here. Even if we never even have any earthly idea what that purpose here is supposed to be. Like, you don't need to know what your purpose is. You might never know. But respect that you have one. Respect your life force. Respect your unique expression of self. Your unique impulses and ideas and reactions and reflections and acknowledging your impact. I will never forget when I was working the front register of the pizza shop as like a teenager. Just doing my thing. It was a very busy pizza shop. Just like doing my thing, handing out pizzas, taking orders. And there was like a line in the lobby. So people, they were there for a minute, right? They, it wasn't just in and out. And this older man, when he got to the front of the register, he told me that I had a great strength in honesty. He could see a great strength of honesty in me. And I was so shook by that because I was like, how do you see that? I'm just handing out pizzas, like taking orders. I felt so surprised by that and so seen and maybe a little spooked. I was like, how do you know that, sir? What the heck? You see that just from me and my visor handing out pizza? What? It's an example of impact, right? The way I was doing, and that is true about me, right? He had seen me interacting with several other people, even if it was, autopilot for me or, kind of trivial stuff like, yeah, your pizza's going to be 10, 15 minutes, whatever it is, right? Whatever it was he saw, the way I was, unbeknownst to me, it had an impact. And I'm so glad that he said that to me. I was probably Could have been like 14 years at this point, right? And I apparently impacted him, and him saying so really impacted me, so much so that I'm telling the story on this podcast today. Acknowledge your impact just by being, just by other people perceiving you and witnessing you, which I know is scary, but they do. People perceive you and you have an impact. Never underestimate your impact. And in honor of Aquarius season, I have like some ideas on how we can play with this, some ways to stretch your impact, some ways to play with your power. And they're pretty simple. It's things like extending more compliments, little acts of kindness, sharing your uniqueness and knowing that you are innovative and you have a point of view that is unique, special, needed. We can stretch our impact by being more shameless, more congruent, more authentic. What do you want your impact to be? How do you want to make people feel? And how can you align with that just a little more? You don't have to be a parent. You don't have to be a boss. You don't have to be some sort of leader. You don't have to have a platform to do this. You, as you are in your world, whatever that looks like, you have an impact. Whether you let yourself be seen or not, that is impactful. Right? So what do you want your impact to be? And while we're at it, let's talk about what serving the collective is not. Let's talk about what being the water bearer is not. Having an impact, serving the collective is not overworking ourselves. Saying yes to anything. It is not making a martyr of ourselves, overburdening ourselves, undervaluing our energy. Your job is to be the best, most vibrant, most embodied, unique version of your unique human essence that you can. This is the number one thing you can do in this lifetime, and feel confident in knowing that you did this gig the best you can. You don't do that by saying yes to everything and focusing on people pleasing and overburdening yourself and always extending the efforts outward. No. It's worth repeating. Your job is to be the best, most vibrant, most embodied, unique version of your unique human essence that you possibly can. Treat yourself like it. Treat your time like it, your resources like it. And each season builds upon the next, or builds up to the next. And up next, we have Pisces season. Aquarius helps to prepare us for Pisces season. If Aquarius is about how we serve others, Pisces is all about how we serve ourselves, how we serve our inner world. Pisces holds and knows a whole hell of a lot. It is said that Pisces is aware of the whole breadth of the universe. Pisces is drawn to knowing fully, deeply, wholly, all that is involved in the universe and what it means to be alive here in this experience. Pisces is the sign that concludes the zodiacal wheel and invites us to complete what needs to be complete. Pisces holds the whole weight of the entire experience. It holds the weight of the whole wheel. It has seen the whole spectrum. So next season, I hope you're ready. We're diving even more deeply into the shadow work of it all. We're diving deeper into shadow work before bursting into a new astrological year with fiery Aries in March, which I don't know about you, but I cannot freaking wait for Aries season. I'm so excited for it, but Pisces prepares us for that. So that's what's coming up next week. Get ready. It tends to get a little intense. And for now, to prepare for Pisces, which will prepare us for Aries, we're still in Aquarius. We've got 1 week left of Aquarius. So let me really encourage you to play with that idea of stretching your impact. How can you stretch your impact? And remembering that the energy behind the way you're doing the dishes, the energy behind the way you're ordering your coffee, the things you say and the things you don't say, the compliments you give and the ones that you don't, that all has an impact. So see if you can play with that a little bit this week. See if you can baby yourself. Be so gentle and safe and secure and accepting of yourself. Do it like your life depends on it. And I hope that will bring a really juicy, medicinal, wonderful conclusion to Aquarius season. I will see you next week on Sunday, the new day for the Expansive Astrology podcast. I'll see you next week, Sunday the 19th. We will dive into Pisces energy. Also on Sunday the 19th, I'm hosting a moon circle. We have the next moon meetup in honor of the new moon in Pisces. That is Sunday, February 19th, 6 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. These happen in person at Peaceful Birth Company in Old Town Fort Collins or online from your living room or wherever you are via Zoom. You can find out more information and sign up for the next moon meetup on my website. I would love to have you there. And if you're interested in making moon meetups a regular part of your self-care routine, I also offer an all-access pass with the Meet Your Magic monthly membership. For just $25 a month, you can receive an all-access pass to all of my moon circles. You will receive a personalized monthly tarot spread in your inbox, and it's the easiest way to show your support for the podcast. So if you like what I'm doing here, if you would like to support my work here, signing up for the Meet Your Magic monthly membership is a wonderful way to show me. I would love to have you. I am so appreciative of those of you who have signed up already. I'm so appreciative of those of you who have been showing up to the moon circles. I can't possibly tell you what that means to me. It's been so much fun. I sure do love it. On that note, I think that's all I have for you this week. I hope it's been helpful. Never hesitate to reach out to me for anything. I would love to support you. Have a really great week, and until next time, take care. Bye. Now, before you go, let me keep your ear for just a moment. This week's episode is brought to you by www.theselfcarewitch.com. My bread and butter, where you can find more information on my current courses, offerings, and other fun ways to connect with myself and yourself. If you enjoyed this episode and you dig what I'm doing here, please subscribe to the podcast, rate it, and leave a review. It helps so much. And if you'd like to connect with me, head to theselfcarewitch.com. I'd truly love to hear from you. Until next time, take care.